everyone, Ultimate Legend here. As you can see from the title and video, I have come to a realization that I didn't know before until now. I have done basically a lot of stuff in the past. A lot of videos that I've made in the past have been overly negative. Specifically because I felt negative and I've lost my way. I have lost my way. And what I mean with that is, I have been influenced. Not that I knew this, not that I wanted this, but I have been influenced by this game in a very negative way. And what I have done about this negativity has been, well, it has been shown in many of my videos. Now, I'm not going to apologize for what the game made me feel. I am going to apologize of how I've shown myself to this game, and that I am apologizing for how I've been in that time. Because honestly, making negative content every single video, that's not good. And I didn't realize that I've made a lot recently. And I'm going to explain how this came to be. And that's why this video is here. To apologize for my behavior, but to do that, I have to explain where it comes from. And at the very end of the video, I'll explain what I'm going to do with Elden Ring after my explanation has been done. So, get your popcorn and listen very carefully to what I'm going to say, because I'm never going to say this ever again. And in case that I fail, I hope that all of you, my subscribers, can tell me that I am either having a setback or anything to make me guarantee that I will never walk that path again, if you want to help me with that. So, the explanation for why is this video here as it is. Well, to give you a summary, I have played Shadow of the Erdtree, as you know. I've did 5 specific streams. The first one was my first time, and the streams afterwards were all for a specific run that I wanted to do. And the last time was when I fought promised consort Radagon with his own weapons, before he was patched. Every single stream was negative towards this game, or should I say specifically to the DLC of this game, which I was in the beginning very hyped for, like many other people. But once I played the DLC, I was basically not only disappointed, but very enraged than I normally was. And at first, I thought this was simply, as everyone knows, you play the game for the first time, it is a skill issue the first time. When you play these games, you have to learn how to play before you can actually enjoy the game. Or should I say, see what the game really has to offer and make it the most beautiful thing sometimes it could possibly be. Example for me, when I say it like this, it is with every other Soulsborne game that I've played. But Elden Ring is a special case for me, because I didn't like Elden Ring a lot. I liked base game Elden Ring only a few things. Of course, there are a lot of things that I like. You have so many talismans, you have so many build variety options, so many Ashes of War, there are so many great spirit summons, and you know that I've played with a lot of these things. And I absolutely love that. But when it comes to what I truly love about these games, is to truly love a good fight, a good boss fight. But in Elden Ring, I had less bosses that I loved. And I was more frustrated most of the time than that I would like to be. And it was first definitely a skill issue. I will give you the honest truth. It was a skill issue. It was a learning moment. It was something that I had to get used to. But it was the way it was that I was very frustrated with. I didn't like the way that this game is. I know it's different from the Soulsborne games in how to approach it. It's no longer, you see the boss do 3 combos, and then after the 3 combos you're guaranteed to hit them back at least once, twice, or maybe even 3 times before they start the next attack. I loved that way of how it worked. Some bosses allow you to do that, and I love those bosses specifically. But the other ones, and those ones are more there for me specifically. I'm not saying it's for everyone like that, but in this game specifically, it felt less here than in the previous games. And that frustrated me. Because not only did I not enjoy it and wanted to experiment with that, it literally frustrated me that I no longer wanted to try and experiment that I normally do with these games and just wanted to be over. And I normally just, persevere, die a lot, maybe get some mechanics right, and with those mechanics in mind, I defeat the boss. But there was no joy once I did that. The bosses that I like in Elden Ring base game, I like Malekith, I like Morgott, but only with Shackle in mind. Without Shackle, I don't like the boss because he's a bit too combo heavy for my liking. But with Shackle, I can at least kill him fast enough to that point that he's not a big problem for me. I like Godfrey. I kind of like Elden Beast and Radagon. But I don't like that if you kill or get killed by Radagon, you have to fight him over again. I don't like that. And basically, I like Plasudasax and regular Radon in the base game. I like those fights basically in Elden Ring. Every other fight I didn't like. And there are a lot of bosses. Most of them have been reskinned and everything, but that was the base game. And having so many things that I simply didn't like to go back to, it gave me, well, honestly, it gave me a new experience, but that experience wasn't positive. When the DLC came out, I was like, yes, maybe the magic that I felt before can be experienced again now. And with this experience, I can love this game like I do with the previous games. The first time I played the Elden Ring DLC, I was in love with the fucking game. Because I didn't know where it would go. I only knew one thing. I could take my sweet ass time and I wish it never ended. However, the DLC made me like even less bosses. I like Midra. I like, I forgot what her name is, the Scorpion Centipede lady. Rosaria, I don't remember what her name is. And I like, if I'm not mistaken, I like the Shadow Tree Flower, and what was the name again? I think it is, no, I think that's it. Midra, the Flower Balls, and Scorpion Centipede Lady. I think that are the only bosses that I like in the DLC. And the reason I like them a lot is because they are so similar to previous Soulsborne fights. I love those types of fights. I could fight those fights any day. Every time that I die, it was my fault and not the boss, frustrating me to my core. But every other fight, I simply didn't like. I didn't even like Mesmer's, and he's the most closest to the fights that I like. But the dude sometimes just doesn't stop. And it frustrated me. It really frustrated me. I couldn't like most of the bosses in the game. I didn't like Gale. Gale? I love Gale. But I didn't like Bale, the dragon that everyone loves so much. Because I simply... It didn't feel like it was a better version of Madeira, in my opinion. I didn't enjoy it. And well, you know already with the boar, I hate that fight. I hate the Mother of Fingers. And I hate Promised Consort Radahn. And Radahn made me really sink into that hatred. He was the final boss, and I was already disappointed the first time that I saw him. Except the first time, like the literal first time that I saw him, I was like, ah, it's Radahn again. Well, is this Prime Radahn and everything? I was like the first time hyped for him. But when I fought him for the first time, that hype slowly showed my hatred. And once my hatred was there, I was like, okay, that must be a skill issue situation. Because yes, a summon helped me out to kill him when I fought him for the first time. Because eventually he just pissed me off to that extent. And that was okay. You're allowed to use the mechanics in the game. But it didn't make me love him. It made me hate him. I didn't want to change what I like to play with. It didn't make me feel like I was playing the game. I was playing against literally the most annoying thing ever. And I couldn't explain for why. So what I did multiple streams, 4 more streams after my first one, to try and understand why. But every single time that I came back to him, it was the same experience but worse. I hated him more. And what I did basically afterwards, I wanted to know what other people's opinions were about the DLC. So what did I do? Like many other people that try to express why they don't like something but they don't know how to say it, you look at a critique online from a YouTuber that you either like or whatever in your case you look at to try and explain the situation. But the critique that I was looking basically at were Feeble King and Joseph Anderson. Some points that they made really clicked with me. But the problem was, it influenced me too in how I see the game. And I know they were not specifically making these critiques to influence people. They were simply saying what they didn't like and why. And I was, well, honestly, I was not taking it for that. But then again, I'm not a professional critic or a person who could criticize in a professional manner or, see these things when you look at them like that. I was simply looking for one thing and one thing only. A reason to explain why I didn't feel why I didn't like the DLC basically, or even Elden Ring, compared to the other games. But the problem is with these critiques, they were done in a, should I say, they had some valid points, like legit valid points, but most of it was purely negative in a non-professional manner or way. And I didn't know that happened in the videos. And I basically got influenced by the way they did these types of things. And, well, it made me make very negative content for a very long time without realizing it was going for such a long time. But eventually, I found another video critique. A guy named Red Glinstone that made a video called The Lost Art of Video Game Critique. Once I saw his video, I basically saw the errors of my way. Because, yes, you're allowed to say what you like and don't like about the game, but you need to understand that if you are going to make a negative video about something, you must be open for criticism, for any kind of criticism. Now, I am a person that likes to hear if I made a mistake. What is my mistake? If I legit made a mistake, I want to know what it is. And sometimes I don't realize that I made a mistake. And I'm always open to improve and learn if I did something that displeased someone. But I have not seen it until now. Every single video that I made was simply one thing. You're going again, talking negatively about this game. That you definitely see some good things in, but you were blinded by your own rage and hatred that the game provided to you. Because honestly, I've always said it, I play these games for my own enjoyment. But I wanted so badly to like Elden Ring. After all, it is the next Soulsborne game for now. But I simply couldn't. And I was stubborn to myself to listen. You defeated the fucking game. You don't like the game as much as you like the other games. You could play basically every other fucking game if you want to. You should just stop. But I was like, no. I don't want to stop. I want to fucking like the fucking game. And that basically made me go further and further into that negativity. But once I saw that guy's video, basically, it showed basically that even YouTubers that I followed for years, like Democracy, he did the same thing. He made an Elden Ring negative critique video, and he eventually was able to see even his own errors. And that was the first time that I have seen this man, that I followed for years, admit his wrongdoings when he did that. Of course, again, his negative video on Elden Ring, or should I say Shadow of the Erdtree, it has some points that are valid, but mostly the video is again done in a negative critique manner that isn't a legit critique. And I was also influenced by him. I didn't know what I wanted to say about this game once I felt that I didn't like it. But now I'm going to say it. I'm going to stop playing this game because it has done a lot right now to me. It gave me a lot of things that I loved, but also more that I hated. And I am not gonna stay with a game like this that I've played over 2,000 hours, made even a second account and a third account to play specifically this game, only to shit talk to it all the time. I'm not gonna do that. And I could make, of course, only videos about this game that I like, but honestly, I love one thing from these games. No, I love two things specifically about these games. You can play with whatever way you want to play the game, and I always did the whole game the way I wanted to play. But some bosses just basically told me, play different. I defeated Melania, and I hated the fighter. And even despite knowing now exactly how she plays, I still hate her. And it probably would be the same with Rallana. Sorry, I got always those two names, you know. It would probably be the same. I could kill Rallana really easy if I took the time for myself to learn how the fight works. But I hate that fight. I hate the combos. I hate that I have so little time to attack back, and not consistent time sometimes, depending on what weapon I'm using. If I was using a greatsword and I was doing the entire game, which by the way was going to be a run, I had so many bosses in this game that I couldn't fight consistently a window to attack back for, because of the slowness of the weapon. And that basically tells you in this game, or well, most people that watch you play it will probably say to you, just use a different weapon, a faster weapon, or anything. But I don't want to do that. It's maybe a self-imposed challenge, but that's what I love the most about these games. Playing the way you want to play, and you can do it your way. But if this game discourages you from playing your way, I don't like it. I do not like getting 6 attacks, and after I dodge 6 attacks, I'm not even allowed because the attack window is too short for my big-ass sword. I don't like that. I like consistency, where I can, after each and every attack, at least hit the boss once with a giant fucking sword before it is their turn to attack me back. I love that the most, because then I will always say it was my fault. If I stupidly decided to do something that was not supposed to be happening right there. But that's the thing. Many of these bosses in this game have combo extensions once they're done with a combo. Or they have input reading. And I don't like that. Of course, some of these mechanics have been in the past Soulsborne games too. Fume Knight has input reading. But his input reading compared to Elden Ring input reading is not comparable. He will not, like Godskin, do always the input reading the moment you press the button to heal yourself. No, he doesn't do that all the time. Godskin almost always does that. And that is the difference. I am okay with input reading, but not to the extent that it is in Elden Ring. I wanted to like Elden Ring so badly. I wanted to be literally either as good as Dark Souls 3 for myself, or even Bloodborne, or I don't know, maybe even like Dark Souls 2 enjoyability for myself. And as I said before, I like Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 is not a shit game in my opinion. It has some things that are different, but these different things, I love them because the consistency of what I love about these games is still there. And that's why I play it. Why I love to come back to it. Why it is the game that I play when I'm depressed even. But it's not with Elden Ring. With Elden Ring, it is a love-hate relationship constantly. I love the part that I'm having fun in the game until I got to that one boss that just ruined everything. And it could be just the boar in Elden Ring, because I want Shadow Tree fragments that it hides behind itself. It could be Radon, because I wanted a satisfying finish for my run, but he pissed me off right there at the very end again. It could be anything, and I don't want to feel that. And that's why I'm gonna stop. And I find, well, I realize now that I should stop. Not that I want to, of course, but I have to. It has changed me in a negative manner that I don't like. And I am going to say it right now. I'm going to commit to that. But I'm going to wrap things up first. The one thing I'm going to do right now for Elden Ring is I'm going to do one last run for Elden Ring. Or should I say 2? Because, well, I showed my Black Knife run basically. I'm going to do that one. Once it's done, I'm going to make my Desert Sorceress run for Elden Ring, because I promised in my Dark Souls 2 video that I will do a Desert Sorceress Greatsword run on every single Soulsborne game. But after that one is done, I am not playing Elden Ring anymore. Because it's not good for me. And, well, I hope you all can understand it. And please, as I said before, if I ever strain from the path that I will talk negative about this game again. If you want to criticize me for that, all I ask is please do it in a nice manner. I will look at it, and I will apologize also for the people that have done this to me before. in a nice manner, and some people that were even on my side, and I accidentally, or, well, not accidentally, erased their own comment. I apologize for these people, because I was so stuck in this negative state that I simply was blinded by it sometimes. But we need to do the best things for ourselves. Find our enjoyment in whatever that can be, even if it is something small. But I do not like Elden Ring as much as I wish I could. And because of this, I'm doing exactly what I just said. So, prepare yourself for the last videos I'm gonna make of Elden Ring. And, well, I just want to thank you for watching this video. It was a long video, I know, but to express why you decide to stop with something, why it has impacted you so much, you cannot do that without, being completely honest, and that sometimes just takes some time. But anyway, that's it for what I wanted to say. I, again, thank the YouTuber that basically showed me this all. I'll put his video in a link so that you can watch it too. But that is all I wanted to say. Thank you all for watching and listening to this video. Give this video a like, comment what your opinion is, if you want to. Hit the bell icon to get notified when I make the next videos. I wish you all a good day. Have a nice day. Take good care of yourself like always. I'll see you next time. And again, thank you for watching.